Hello there, this is Rom Wills coming back at you with yet another video. Male-female relationships come down to compatibility. As a man, it comes down to whether or not you click with that woman. If you're a woman watching this, it comes down to whether or not you click with that man. There's no way we can get around it. See, one of the things I'm seeing is there's a whole lot of focus on the bait, but that don't mean y'all gonna relate. And I've actually said that about body game. I've said that several times. I say, yeah, body game will get her over there, but you still gotta talk to her. And you still gotta click. Because you get some guys who, unfortunately, you get some guys, even some content creators saying, oh, personality don't matter. Bullshit, that tells me they ain't even dealing with a woman. That tells me, seriously, yeah, you can have, I don't care what you use. I don't care. You can be supermodel of the world, have that face. You can be like super tall, taller than average, just taller than everyone around you. Shoot, you can have that ASP body, you know? And that's going to get the, let's just be real, that's going to get the women over there. But then women constantly say he was all right till he opened his mouth. You still got to talk. You still got to talk because, and hey, let's turn this around. At least for the sensible guys. Yeah, we checking out that body, but many a man, if he's smart, will say, you know what? She talking some stupidity. You know, at least a sensible man. Some younger guys might try to get with it anyway, but they always sorry because they ain't really getting along. And they got into some trouble because, yeah, she looked good, but personality-wise, they weren't on the same page. Because if you're talking about a relationship, you're talking about relate, you know? And that goes beyond whatever the thing that got you over there. And that's important. The bait is always important. But then you got to talk, and then you got to see if y'all actually on the same page. Y'all had to have the exact same personality, but y'all got to be on the same page. Are y'all compatible? Do y'all have the same money consciousness? If you have a wealth consciousness and she has a poverty consciousness, there's going to be problems. If y'all different religions, a lot of times we don't talk about that, but if you worshiping God this way and she worshiping Goddess this way, there's going to be some problems. You know, social class. You know, if you like upperly mobile, trying to do some stuff, but she is on some, you know, she just on some basics. She just want the basics every day because she's more lower class. There's going to be problems. Y'all not compatible. In fact, a book I've talked about before, In Search of Goodpussy, by Don Spears. He talked about it because he said a couple of his elders said relationships fail for two different reasons. Incompatibility and unrealistic expectations. And usually the unrealistic expectation is that the two of you will be compatible. And I'm just like, wow. And real quick, if y'all hear something in the background, it's cold than a mug outside while I'm recording, so my heat is on. Rom ain't getting a cold or something for y'all. So anyway, it comes down to it. Compatibility. Y'all still gotta get along. Like I mentioned, like you guys, even some content creators thinking, oh, personality don't matter. That tells me they haven't dealt with a woman. That tells me right there. What y'all gonna do? Just sit there and just look at each other? You gonna sit there and stare at her breast, or you think she gonna just stare at your bank account? No, seriously, use some common sense in there. Y'all still gotta talk. Now, y'all might, you know, if it's purely physical, you might be good for some rolls in the hay, but it can be a problem. Like, there was this one woman I actually dealt with, had the sex with her several times. I ain't gonna call her name and everything, you know, I'm gonna show her that respect. And plus, like I said, I tend to deal with attorneys, but I actually got to a point, I said, yeah, there was a physical attraction there, but we weren't really compatible in that way. We had two different ways of looking at stuff. It wasn't common ground outside the bedroom. There was the potential for a real relationship just wasn't there. I wish her well and everything, but it wasn't there. And then let me share another story. Now, I remember I had dealt with this, talked to this woman, like she, God, she was fine. Met her at a fashion show. She actually called me up. You know, she looked like she could model. Had that body, like if IG was around then, oh, she would have a big following, man, head to toe, pretty face, body, I mean, curvy, good Lord. But just talking with her, I was just like, there was a couple women like that. It was just like, the personality thing wasn't there. In fact, that woman I was just talking about, I remember I saw her again. This was when I was vending, I was still married. And she, you know, she stopped by and said, hey, how you doing and all that, you know, introduced her to the wife. And my wife actually looked at me and was like, you didn't hit that? Like, even she said that. I say, nah, it just wasn't a personality thing. Now, I know some guys will still try to get with her, but you gotta have that click. You gotta be able to talk. Because there's only so much you can't spend time, like I said, you can't spend time just staring at the woman. You can't spend your time just doing that. And there's only so much sex you're gonna have. And let's be real, a lot of y'all ain't having sex for like a couple hours with a woman. So what's left? You know? And we talking about in the real world. Y'all still gotta talk, especially you talking about a relationship, because let's be real. A lot of guys, the reason they have trouble with a woman's body count is they want a relationship with, I'll say, a pure woman. Okay, y'all gotta click. You got to click. Your personality, y'all gotta be able to talk about stuff. And you talking about building a relationship, shoot. It ain't just like you find each other attractive. Like I said, what's your spiritual values? What's your social class? You know? How you think about child? If you're talking about even going even further, what's your vision? Oh, raising a child. One could be like, oh, we got to discipline hard. The other one's like, oh, laissez-faire. Just let them do whatever. Oh, yeah, y'all gonna really work out. Seriously, you got to really think about those things. You got to think about those things. And yesterday I was talking about regular people still having good relationships. They find somebody they click with. Seriously. They find somebody they click with. Indeed, even if you're not like supermodel of the world or something, how often has somebody met that person they just click with? And the person was decent enough, still decent looking. You know? So even there, you got to. See, that's a problem with a lot of relationships. People dealing with each other, they taking that bait too far. That's just the attraction part. If y'all talking about growing, y'all gotta be in the same direction. Trust me, I've seen this happen a lot, especially with some breakups. I've seen it in my own life, talking with some other men and women about their breakups, and it was always something about the compatibility. You know, one person going in one direction, one person going in the other direction. In fact, one of my mentors said this about relationships that break up after maybe 7 years. Talking about, oh, we just went in different directions. And he said it best. They probably weren't compatible to begin with. Because one of the things is a lot of people try to force some things. I'm gonna tell you what, that click is there. You gotta have that click. If you trying to force the relationship along, you're already in trouble. You trying to make something happen. Y'all should be just flowing, just be like boom. And even in your growth, it's still y'all growing together. You know? Ain't saying either one of y'all gotta be perfect, but y'all gotta click enough to even want to work. And don't force it. Too many people trying to force stuff and something is not there. Like if you just want to have quick sex, okay, that's one thing. But if you're talking about a relationship, it comes down, are y'all compatible to really make it work? Are y'all truly compatible? Because like too often you get some people, they going on just the superficial stuff. The bait, and yeah, that's important. Yeah, the sex is important. The lust is important. But sometimes you just gotta leave it just at lust. Sometimes you gotta ask yourself, well, what is it that you really want? You gotta have it. You gotta have it. It gotta be compatibility. It gotta be compatible personalities and similar values. And they don't have to be the exact same thing because y'all can still both learn from each other. But you got to be, you have to be compatible. Otherwise, y'all just gonna click or like you bump heads. Y'all just gonna bump heads, and it's like, what's the point of that? What's the point of that? Because while you wasting time bumping heads, somebody you practically actually compatible with is out there. Once y'all really think about that, compatibility, you gotta have it's important. Anybody try to act like, oh, all that don't matter, like I said, they haven't been in any relationships. And in fact, next time somebody says it don't matter, just comment and just ask, well, when's, has this actually worked for you? Ask them and see what they say. And if they give you just a quick answer, yes, this worked for me, don't accept it. Have them give you a detailed answer how it worked for them. I'm dead serious, because one of the things I'm seeing out here, we're getting too far away from just basics. We're getting too far away from it. People trying to force stuff or got all these crazy ideas. All right? Comes down to, are y'all two compatible? And on what levels? Like I said, it's more than just physical attraction and even just being able to get along with each other. If y'all talking about a real relationship, you better be thinking about how y'all worshiping deity. You gotta be thinking about what's your social class. What do you value? Are you an artistic person? That same book, Don Spears, when he was talking about unrealistic expectations, he said he was with a woman. He said he was sincerely in love with her, but they didn't work out. He was more artistic, more creative, more abstract thinker. She was one of those more, oh, we got to get this bill paid, this bill paid, this bill paid. They just weren't really compatible. So that's the thing. All right. So anyway, that's all I have for today. And I'll put a link for Don Spears' book. That's really, it was published back in 1991, and it's still relevant. It's still relevant to this day. So check it out. So anyway, I'll get back with y'all. Peace and blessings.